I have some I have some beef with the law of attraction. Is that how we're gonna say that? How I'm gonna say that? I have some issues with the law of attraction. We're gonna talk about one of them in particular today, but one o and yeah, one and like a half. There's not enough time for me to talk about all my issues with the law of attraction and some of what we do here, what we teach in our classes, and what we do in our membership and here at the Sisters Enchanted overlaps with the law of attraction. So, I have some issues with it. Some of what we talk about overlaps. Some of how I live my life overlaps with law of attraction. Like I've definitely pulled ideas from there. Um, but there's a one bit in particular, and it's the acting as if, like acting as if you already have it bit that I take some issue with because I think that it's one misunderstood and two, I think that it really disempowers people to make change in their life as it is because it's the way it's misconstrued. So that's what we're talking about today. We know that you were born magical. We know that you are intuitive, and we know that you are brimming with everyday enchantment. Here at the Sisters Enchanted, we believe in intention, we believe in intuition, and we believe in everyday magic. Welcome in to the Expedition to Soul podcast. All right, in the law of attraction, there's a lot of different parts of the law of attraction. We have some community members who've read the book The Secret like 100 times. That's very law of attraction. And there's some stuff about it that I'm like, yeah, that makes sense. Like some of it, your energy is magnetic. We teach reading auras here. We teach about your energy centers. One of the things that I think to be true about energy is that it is magnetic. Like what is in your energy, you will attract more of. So if there is a lot of drama in your energy, you're going to bring in more drama. I do think that your energy, there's this really cool meme. Is it really cool? I don't know. It's a funny meme, but it is about how you don't sleep well at night or like your back hurts in the morning. And it's the outline of like a human, but then the skeleton inside the body is like just trying to escape, and that's and then the meme is like, "That's why you hurt in the morning, because it's your skeleton just trying to get comfortable or, like, trying to live its life." But your energy, I think, does that. Like, your energy, when you are resting and you're in a real dreamlike state, I think it kind of moves out and it explores and it dances with the other energies in your house. So if your house has a lot of chaos energy and drama energy and clutter energy, it is in my belief that your energy is it's just mingling with that when you are in that restful sleep state. Uh, and so your energy in that way is magnetic to what is around you, what you're surrounding yourself with. And I really firmly believe in that. And that's one of these law of attraction kind of ideas. But there's two other parts of the law of attraction. One that I don't love, and it's that you have invited in all of the experiences in your life. So, like, if something happened to you, you on some level have accepted that or created it to happen through your energy. And I've had things happen to me that I would never in a million years say, like, oh, yes, I was asking for that. My energy brought it in. No, that's shenanigans. So, that's not even shenanigans are fun. That's baloney. Baloney is not fun. That is nonsense. I think that what I think it's misconstrued to be that things only happen to you that you've in some level signed up for in this lifetime. And I don't think that's true. I think that our reactions to things that happen to us, there's certainly lessons to be learned from that. So if something completely, unconscionable happens to a person and then they sort of lash out at everybody in their life or they don't do the healing work, they don't seek the help that they need to get through it, then perhaps that emotional aspect of it is a continual lesson that we're learning. But to say that something only happens to you if you've like signed a contract, an energetic life contract for it, or you've somehow accepted it in, I don't buy that for a second, because there are things that happen to people that we would never like what never would a person sign up for that. And I think the lesson can be though in our what we do after. That might be a lesson. That might be a kind of energy loop that we've got to see ourselves out of. but certainly not an instance. Now, the other thing that I think is misconstrued in the law of attraction is this idea as living as if. So here the idea is if you want more, say you want, I don't know, have more money, you live as if you are a person who already has that, who already has more money. If you want to have a successful business, you live as if you have a successful business. If you want to lose weight, you live as if you've already lost the weight. And it's this idea of living as if it's already occurred. Now, I get it, like, shift your mindset so that you're already making choices like it's already happened, which can help build your confidence and help you to shift the way that you think and take actions and move through the world. But I think that it's confusing because a person who really does not know how to manage money, a person who has never been taught that, a person who does not know how to stop yelling at their spouse or their kids, like, how do you act as if? Because you don't know how to do it. So we then trick ourselves into acting as if, as like, okay, well, this family who I perceive does not argue, they go on this trip every year. So now let's spend money and go on this trip every year and act as if we're already in that place of getting along. Or I can see this with intimacy, a person who maybe desires more pleasure and intimacy with their partner in their life, and they look around and they have this perception that other people have that, and so maybe they wear like a certain dress, or they tell themselves today's the day that I'm going to initiate this intimacy, and that's acting as if. But then when the time comes, you like shut down again and you're like, no, actually, not going to happen. And it's because you don't know what their communication is like. You don't know what the verbal exchange is, right? So when we're acting as if, I think we're acting as if based on what we can see. And if we don't understand the layers, like I can see my car. I have no idea how it works. You open the hood and I'm like, better call AAA. I have no idea what to do. And it's the same with acting as if. We can't, you just make assumptions, but you don't actually know what to do. And that is my issue with acting as if in the law of attraction. I think that really how we could be more clear about this is just shifting, how would this person think? How would this person communicate? And then if you don't know, putting yourself in positions to learn that information. And it's more than acting as if, it's really thinking, communicating as if, not necessarily just doing things to pretend like you already have it. How would this person think? How would this person receive this information? So some examples for you. A person who, you have maybe one person A feels like they have really good energetic time management. They have space in their life to do all the things they want to do. They are, you might even say, like an overachiever, like they're doing all this stuff. They're real leaders in their life. And then person B, also, maybe they work a full-time job. They take care of people. They go to the gym, but they feel like life is just chaos and overwhelming, and they have no time or space for themselves. So person B, this idea of acting as if, might just haphazardly spend money to hire a house cleaner, but not really know what they need or really know if that is what they need. Or they, just might make some snap judgment decision that they think that this other person is doing to have more control over their day. When really you want to ask, how does this person think? And maybe person A, who seems like they have it all together with their time, is just prioritizing differently. Maybe they think about how they have to structure their day differently. So maybe that person is thinking, okay, I need a lot of energy for after work because I have to go parent or take care of my aging relatives, or I got to go walk my 3 dogs, or like whatever they have to do. So instead of waiting till later in the day to go try to exercise or put time in for themselves, maybe they position that time in the middle of their day on their lunch so that they are getting that energetic boost at lunchtime, and then they have the more freedom after the day, as opposed to person B, who's maybe just trying to do it all after work. And then they're like, I don't have time. This is too much. It's overwhelming and I'm miserable. And that's really how would they think? How would they prioritize their day? As opposed to just looking at somebody and saying, well, how do I act like them? It's really, how are they thinking? How are they perceiving this situation? And if you don't know, find that person and ask them. Another way I think that I can see this, and I hear it in our community, is with families. So I the constant yelling and arguing, and whether it's spouses or kids or whoever, family members that you're arguing with, yelling is happening, and acting as if you're a happy family and just going out to dinner or going on a trip when you're really arguing and you're really disagreeing all the time. Doing that action of like going out to dinner or going on a trip is not going to make that go away. In fact, you're probably going to put in a lot of situations that are going to cause more of the fighting and arguing. So how would a person who doesn't do that in their life, how would they react? How would they think about this? How would they manage their communication in this situation? And they're probably doing a heck of a lot less talking than the person who's arguing a lot. People who don't argue in their families, it's because they're talking less. They're making changes and shifts through their just state of being. So when somebody is being combative, it's more of a, okay, head nod, and then I'm gonna go for a walk, or I'm gonna go read this book right now. We'll talk about this when the energy settles down. And it's less trying to be heard and more quiet. So we want to ask ourselves, how does that person think about these kinds of problems that I'm experiencing? So somebody who's already been the problem, how do they think about it? And shifting that act as if to, how do they think about this? How do they perceive this? How do they communicate in this situation? The money, it's the same thing with money. So often I come across people who want to save money. And so they will take shortcuts and they'll do a lot of things that make their life harder in the purpose of saving money. And somebody who has money will often spend in order to free up their energy to have more. So they will spend money so that they free up their energy so that they can then take care of themselves and have the confidence to ask for a raise, or they do better at work because they freed up their energy at home, thus getting them a promotion or a raise or whatever it is that they're looking for. Right. And so instead of acting as if you're a person who has money and you just like go, I'll see this with law of attraction, and with money in particular, it drives me nuts. You say act as if, and go buy yourself like the fancy bottle of wine, or go buy yourself this like fancy dress that makes you feel like $1,000,000. But really, that is not helping you, because in the end, now you have this thing, but you've not seen a change in your bank account. And so with money, it's really understanding people who use money differently than you do, who perceive it differently than you do, who have a different way of thinking about it. And then how do you think as if you're a person who's going to make space in your life to receive more money? How do you think as if you are that person, as opposed to taking actions as if you just have the fluid cash to spend? Those are two very different things. And so I see that with the law of attraction, this act as if that invites people in to really do more of what's not helpful. So act as if you're a person who doesn't argue, and then suddenly you're like setting all these rules for your family and all these boundaries that no one's ever had before in this journey to not have arguing, because you think that's acting as if there's no arguing. And what does that look like? You have structure and rules and boundaries, but no one's used to them. So there's going to be more arguing. The same with money. Act as if you have money and then go spend it on flowers and self-care things to treat yourself and blah, 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 blah. But then you're just spending it and you're not getting more of it. And it's because it's not an act as if, it's a think as if. Think as if. How do you change your thoughts and your perception? So those are some things that really bug me about the law of attraction that I'm sharing with you today, because it comes up. It comes up in our community. It comes up in groups that I'm in when they talk about manifesting, and professional networking groups that I'm in when they talk about manifesting and acting as if. And it's really, oh, how do you change the way that you think about something to think about it as if you're a person who already has that handled? How are they thinking about it? Because it's often your thoughts that create your energy, which then drive the action. It's not the other way around. You don't start with action. You think about, how does it feel How does that feel? What is the thought around it, which then drives the action that changes everything? And through your embodiment of the way that you are thinking and feeling about something, that changes people in your life. You embodying that new way of thinking, that new way of being, that new way of having energy. And that's what changes things for people around you too, when they observe you just being in a different type of essence yourself. And that doesn't come through taking a random act as if, you know, actions to look like you have the thing and like pretend like and position yourself. That's not how that works. It really comes with the inner stuff first. And that starts with thinking, it starts with perception. How do you feel? What is the feeling? What does it feel like to be a person who says less and who says less and does not argue? What does that feel like? What is the thought going through that person's mind? And how do you embody that? What does it feel like to be a person who says, I'm going to spend $40 to have somebody come clean my bathroom and kitchen every other week or every week so that I save that hour and I can just nap or decompress and I'm not as mad at everybody and I show up better for my family and at work, therefore probably going to earn me more money in the long run. What does it take to think like that, to embody that energy as opposed to just taking actions? And that's really where I think the conscious creation comes from, and the conscious energetic alignment to how you want to feel, how you're going to embody that. And then that naturally turns into action. But when we just start with action, we don't know what's fueling the action. And that's how we end up taking action that actually gets us farther away from where we want to be, which I think is something that everybody's experienced at some point in time, where you take an action thinking it's the right one, only to realize it was not the right one and you did not know it and you wish you had known it and now you know better. And when we start with feeling in the inner work, that's where we see bigger change faster in our lives. So good. All right. Well, 2024 is just around the corner. And I know that in my life, I've really been considering, what am I doing next year? How do I want to feel next year? Where did we live out of alignment with my vision as a person? So I do have 2 kids and a husband. So where did we live out of alignment with our vision for the family, how we want to feel as a family, how we want to spend our time, how I want to feel? Where were we misaligned? Where were we in alignment? What shifts can we make? And this is all pertinent thought to me right now, because as I think like, okay, well, we would like more of this. What does it look like to make that happen? And starting to dial into, what are the thoughts that have to come up first? What are my feelings that I have to put words to in order to put, that kindling into the fire of action, as opposed to just, oh, well, these are all the things we're going to do. It's really, how am I not thinking about this clearly? What's a different way I could think about it to invite more of that alignment into my life? So I am very much in that place right now. If you do want some help with this type of thing in your life, be sure to keep a lookout, check in the links section, because we do have end of year goodness coming up for you. So you'll be able to find that in the links or the comments or wherever you're checking this out. And always check your Sunday email from us, because we put everything in there too. So for you, instead of acting as if, how do we think as if? And that's what I'm going to leave you with today. How do you think as if, and what thoughts need to shift so you can change your energy from the inside out? And create all this beautiful alignment. Okay, everybody, thank you for listening to my rant about the law of attraction, things I like and don't like. And until next time, I hope that you have an enchanted rest of your day ahead. If you liked this episode of the Expedition to Soul podcast, please rate, review, subscribe. If you're listening on Apple Podcasts, it will really help us spread everyday magic, intention, and intuition to the masses, and helps us so much as a small business. Be sure to hit that subscribe button on your favorite podcasting platform so you never miss an episode. There are new episodes every Tuesday. And as always, thank you so much for listening and being part of the community here at the Sisters Enchanted. And we'll see you in the next episode.